Very much. At the outset, I like to express my warm regards to our new Vice Chancellor. And I had previously visited Darbhanga University, but now I suppose I need to visit once again. Furthermore, to talk about any situation like this, perhaps it is an event of a lifetime. Because the last time when this sort of a situation occurred in this whole world was 1918, and which has been termed as a mother of pandemic. Perhaps that is not only the silver lining as I talk. And today this international webinar, which focuses on socio-economic and political impact of COVID-19, I would rather try to take a glimpse of the global scenario. To speak of this, I should tell you that this has been a black swan event. An event which has occurred because of disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2. Now, when I talk about corona, I should tell you that this virus has been quite unique, but not so unique. It first was discovered in 1965. And the term corona comes, or it draws it from its characteristic feature that it bears a crown. That's how it is corona. Perhaps that is also an indicator that it is a kingly type, very difficult to overcome. But then as humans, we are fighting towards it. Let me tell you that one of the esteemed institutions of the world, WHO, was forced to declare it as a global emergency, not earlier than 30th of January 2020. If I talk about the numbers, which are very important today, the active COVID cases in the whole world has crossed 4 million. Yes, very true. But when I talk about the active ones, it is around 2.4. And the silver lining, which I was trying to say, the first one is that there are certain closed cases. There have been 16% deaths of death, but then there are recoveries, around 84%. But then we are also concerned about critical numbers, which is around 50,000 currently. Now, if I talk about the global one, then I should concentrate on the national front also. India has never been left out. The first wave, which had come from China, we had survived it, perhaps pretty well. But the second wave, which has come from the Western world, we are still fighting it out. And to be honest, most of our strategies have been on to contain this spread of coronavirus outbreak in India. A trial run to counter this has been the Janta curfew. It has been the unique way of, or rather Indian way to tackle it. A 14-hour voluntary public curfew on 20th of March, which is obviously a successful one. But we had followed it currently now with lockdown 1.0, lockdown 2.0, and perhaps we are now experiencing lockdown 3.0, at least till 17th of May. Now, when I talk about the numbers, in India currently from the Ministry of Home and Family Affairs, I find 62,935 cases, out of which 66.6% being active. Closed cases, rather important one is the death. It is 10%. Many of us in India, as well as others, have been trying to throw stones at each other, saying that we have underestimated our figures. But I should tell you that our system, the healthcare system, has been so in its reporting system, as a result of which perhaps we are having these numbers. But then, as this particular seminar focuses on the impact issue, I should start with economic impact to begin with. I can't restrict myself from saying that I'm a person from this background, but then let me go by a sectoral analysis of the economic impact. If I talk about the primary sector, which in India has been the agriculture, we are knowing that it has been seriously hit. If we consider that the demand which had been from the hostels and the others, it has really taken a hit. If we look at petroleum and oil, that has also had received a stagnated demand because vehicles are moving. And if I talk about the secondary and pick up manufacturing, manufacturing had been severely hit. I don't want to go by numbers because numbers, statistics can be of a true and false nature. But then let me talk about the highest contributory, the tertiary sector, the finance and the banking. It is needless to say that money is in perhaps in abundance, but a liquidity issue is there. If you want to transfer money, we can do it online, but always online has never been our way, or rather in India, that has been a dismal show. The real estate and housing has taken a setback. But then hospitality and tourism, if we say so, had stopped. Perhaps we will never think of going on a tour, even just once the lockdown is over. If you talk about the transportation and aviation, yes, it is a standstill. Then we talk about the retail, yeah, they are not selling. The sports, which has been a very important contributor to our revenue, it is a standstill. And then if we talk about education, although a current platform has been provided by the university and one management association, I can't say education is standstill, but it has received a setback. But then when I'm talking about this, why not I take the next silver lining? I talk about the information technology, media, research and development. That has been facing challenges. Today, when we are eagerly awaiting to listen to each other, that itself is a challenge. Previously, we had not been using this online platform. Then when we talk about the healthcare and pharmaceuticals, that is one of the sectors which is facing tremendous challenges and is about to see tremendous opportunities. I tell you, not to linger much, I take you towards the social impact. The term social distancing, which we are trying to say or repeat it so many times, several times, it is not a new term. This term had emerged during the 1918 crisis. The social distancing norm during that time was 6 feet. We started with 3 feet, but now we are emphasizing now on 2 yards. Please note, social distancing at that time was primarily to talk about physical distancing. We are not abandoning physical distancing, but I want to tell you that social distancing should be construed in from our side by saying that let us not come close to each other within a 6 feet range, but let us get connected with the all available social media. But then as you are noticing, most of us are staying at home, but then work from home, that has been an order of the day, perhaps reaching towards a new normalcy. These poses a challenge, first of all, to work-life balance. Obviously, we have issues of mental hygiene. When this particular virus attack, we are talking about hygiene, we are ignoring mental health, rather mental hygiene. I should tell you that first of all, you concentrate on self and then talk about your family and then the society. I take to the other aspect of the political one and talk about how the whole government, rather the central and the state, started with. They had started with awareness, but they had to follow it up with an emergency. Rather, they had termed it as a disaster management event. We should know that the political discourse here had been immediately implementation or reconstitution of various laws, be it the Constitution of India, Indian Penal Code, but do note, many of us ignored Epidemic Diseases Act 1897. Perhaps we remembered the Disaster Management Act and the guidelines, but we had to reframe our Essential Commodities Act 1955 to include these healthcare products. Say, for example, the mask, the PPE kit. These were never ever considered as essential commodities. I tell you, the government has responded very well, taking it as a disaster management one. But then along with that, the fiscal and economic packages which have been already announced, they are to be put in practice. I like to also share my concerns in the geopolitical scenario. The first one, which I tell you, that India, as it has been managing this crisis, whether you say it is a political victory, I tell you, India has surpassed many milestones. Perhaps India is the only country which has gone and has been showing signs of being very successful in total lockdown concept. And while I say so, we have been able to lock down the death rates to a very minimal of around 6, or rather 0.6 mortality rates, which is never ever found in others. The last pandemic, which was in 1918, there was a loss or a mortality rate of 20% in India, which was much higher than the global average of 4%. This time, perhaps, India has proved its worth. With a huge population, we are surviving well. There is no other country which has been so successful with lockdown, and you cannot ignore the political vendetta here. I cannot ignore that the political side, India has got the opportunity to become not only a global superpower, but a manufacturing hub, because the whole world is trying to find a term which is very much going towards anti-China. As I concern myself or concentrate on few, there are many speakers in this international webinar. They would be highlighting various issues. I am extremely grateful to the university. I am also grateful to the college. I am very much associated with the Management Association. So my heartfelt thanks to Professor H.K. Singh. I am also very much grateful to the university counterpart and the colleagues. Thank you very much. Be at home, be safe, work from home. But the silver lining is we will be stepping outside when the COVID is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Gomes, for kindly blessing us. Now we'll be moving further. And before we move further, today is the auspicious day of Mother's Day. And what is the role of a mother? Is that mother teaches us different paths of life. And today we are learning different paths of life through this webinar. हम अपने जीवन के अलग-अलग मार्गों को इस webinar के through जान पाएं. So, first of all, I would like to wish all of you happy Mother's Day. And I want to mention 2 points, which is very important, I personally feel. First is, the term which is used is social distancing. Should be replaced with physical distancing. हमें आपको फिजिकली दूर रहना है, चारों से दूर नहीं रहना. आप हमारे दुश्मन नहीं हो, मैं आपका दुश्मन नहीं हूँ. We should be mentally not distant from each other. We should be physically distant from each other. The other very important thing is that, which Professor Gomes mentioned, was that a vacuum has been created. And that vacuum has to be filled by someone. Either it's India or any other country which is growing. But America is very much suffering through this COVID-19. And this is an opportunity for developing countries like India and other countries to conquer this point. Another last very important point which I want to mention is that the definition of development is going to change. Now, the superpower will be considered those countries who have a higher happiness index, जहाँ पे लोग ज़्यादा खुश रहेंगे, not the country with a huge nuclear power. The definition of superpower has to be changed. The country which is having more happy people, people with education, should be considered as a country of economic power and social power, not the country with nuclear power. Moving forward in the series, now next we have Dr. Premchandra Patel. He is the director, BIC, Birganj, Tribhuvan University, Nepal.